Hi guys, welcome to this movement lesson. Today we're going through a whole body mobility routine. We're working top to toe, there's going to be some core involved, getting some warmth into the muscles as well. You keep your shoes off, you don't need shoes for this one. Get a nice comfortable mat underneath for those kneeling positions and follow me through. We're going to go with horizontal rotations to start, just pivoting around on the feet, on the ball of the toe and shifting the body weight from side to side. Staying tall and long through the spine, let those arms move around just as far as is comfortable. Now we're getting some warmth, as I say, through the body first off, and then we're going to go into our dynamic and then static stretches and really round this off, feeling loose and supple and moving freely. Nice and tall, and just see how far those arms can come around behind the body. All right, from here, we're going to reach up and across as we side bend. Really take that arm across and reach, getting that stretch down the sides. Feet apart, a bit wider than hip width, and you can go as slow through these as you want. Reaching across, that side bend, and then that reach combining to get a great stretch through the ribs, down to the hips as well. One more. Good. Okay, from here, hands up, both together, sweep that circle down and around. So a little bit of movement through the feet, not as much with those horizontal rotations, and getting that movement this time through the back and through the hips. Shifting the weight from side to side. If it helps with balance, you can keep the eyes on a fixed point, maybe a metre or so in front of your feet, or on the wall ahead. And one more big turn, and then back into the direction. And again, this move, you can really get some dexterity into the body, into the torso, by twisting as well as making that circle with the hands. Breathing in to start the circle, breathing out as you come back up. Again, keep your eyes fixed if you feel any kind of dizziness at all. One more big turn. And perfect. We're going to widen the stance. We're going to bring the hands one across and then to the other side. The other hand reaching behind the body. So we're getting that twist. Now you can go wider with the feet after a few repetitions if you feel you can. Constantly feel what is right for you and adjust your body position or your stance as is right for you. Weight into the heel as you load up, leaning right across. Straight leg if you can. If you're improving that over time, maybe it's not straight to start with, but it gets better and better as you go. That is the goal. One more on each side. Twist and twist. Good. Keeping those feet wide, sinking the hips to one side, and that forward lean, pushing the hips back, getting that stretch right up into the hip, into the groin, up and over. Again, you can adjust those feet as needed, and up and over again. Hands wherever it's most comfortable for balance. Getting used to that wide stance, getting into those adductors, leaning towards the straight leg foot to increase it, but again, comfortable. 6.5, 7, 7.5 at most, out of 10 for that stretch. Good. Again, like this, there's no right or wrong, just take the body to where it feels it needs the work for you. Might be different from the next person. One more to the other side. Good, leaning into it. Hands in front now, legs straight. And work those feet a little bit further apart. And down and back with the hips. Weight on the hands a little bit. And as you drop towards the floor, and sit the hips back, just moving into different positions. You can feel the stretch and how those positions change the stretch. Focus the tension into different areas. Anytime you need to bring those feet back, go right ahead and do so. And by straightening and bending the knees respectively, you can feel that stretch right the way down toward the knee. Good. Weight onto the hands, going to bring those feet a little bit closer together. Keep them a little bit wide though, as we go palms together. You know this one, elbows in the inside of the knees, And as we sit down into that low position, into that deep squat position, feet turned out, knees wide, and rock if it's comfortable from side to side. Now, if you can't get the palms together, cross the wrists over, that's fine as well. But if you can, push a little bit further each time. Chest up, trying to sit low whilst keeping that proud posture. And the more time you can spend in this position, the more you're going to encourage that new range of movement. Good. Coming up, just resting for a moment. Those hips, we're going to go down a second time, palms together, knees wide, and begin sitting into that low position. Second time, it usually feels just a little bit easier, a little bit more comfortable. Really bring that chest up. Keeping the breathing going. Good. And all right, standing from there, we're going to stand to the side, step 1 foot forward, bend that rear knee and bring the hands down, getting that hamstring stretch. Now we can lean over across the leg. It's going to increase that stretch on that lead leg, on the outside of that hamstring. And back to the center. Slowly coming back up, switch the feet. Again, just a small step, and then bend that rear knee, hands down, hamstring stretch. Bringing those hands both across. So you're moving your body across, keeping the hips square, but crossing over that knee and that foot. Feel that stretch. It's the biceps femoris, the outermost hamstring muscle, getting that tightness. And back to the center before coming back up. I'm going to go a second time. Sit those hips back. Always take your time and move into these positions slowly if needed, and just as far as it is right for you. Now, fingertips down toward the floor if you can, onto the floor, onto the foot, balancing, giving you that extra bit of sensory stability and confidence to move. Good. Little bouncing movements as ever. When you get to the end range of any of these positions, you can employ those little pulsing, bouncing movements. And breathe. Step the hands out and across. And feel that stretch. Good. Alright, and back to the center. Can I come up? So we're going to go into a walkout now. Legs straight, just like our inchworm movement. Down to the palms. From here, core strong. Going to step 1 foot forward. Get into that hip and bring the knee out to the side. So it's my right knee, and I shift my hips and my knee to the right to increase that stretch. Get my arms working a little bit, the core as well. And step to switch to the other side. Cross we go this time. My left leg is my lead leg, so I'm just shifting my weight out to the left, trying to get distance between my knee and my shoulder. Still staying connected through my core. Proud posture, long through the neck and shoulders. I'll switch. Second time. And out we go. Shifting in the direction of that lead knee. Moving the knee, consciously moving that knee wide as well. So the glutes, the hamstring, the inner thigh, the adductors, getting into this stretch, this movement. Switching a second time, last time on the second side. And moving just as fast or as slow as is right for you. To get more comfortable with certain movements, you'll be able to go into these a little bit deeper. Alright, bring that foot back. From here we're going to drop the hips down, chest up, shoulders back, knees are on the floor, and just as far as the back, low back is happy. Core engaged, navel in, bring those toes up, hips up, and we're going to reach and touch the toes. Drop the hips down, chest up, shoulders back, and looking up. Up again to push back and touch the toes. One more time, dropping down. Chest up, shoulders back. Again with those feet, you can bring them flat to the floor if that's comfortable. Bring those toes up. So we're going to reach and touch the toes. Come forward, reach and touch the toes on the other side. I'm going to repeat this movement a few times over. Building up some more warmth through the muscles, getting them working. Nothing too aggressive, but getting that core, shoulder, bit of mobility and dexterity for those ankles as well, the calves as we come up. Reaching to the toes, you can feel that stretch down to the heel, hamstrings and calves. We go one more on each side, and up with the hips into that pike. And very good. From here, step forward into that groiner step. The same side arm as the forward leg is going to reach up. We're going to go into our needle thread T rotation combination. Up, opening through the chest and shoulders, getting that mobility through the spine and the hip. Third time of 5, reaching up and underneath. Across, hip stretch, body stretch as well. 4 and across. Working and mobilising at the same time. Last one on this side. Up, reaching high and across and underneath. Hand back to the floor. Switch the feet. Step on that lead leg. Lead arm up and twist. Push against the ground. Opening through the chest and shoulder, and underneath we go. Good. And the hips, lead and rear. Different positions, both working, both stretching. And underneath. Again, that twist of the body, rotation, all important movement for the spine. And deep breath. This movement encouraging that rotation in both positions. Good. Stay balanced, stay stable. Keep that rear knee off the floor. 2 more. Up we go. Stretching. Opening up that straight line from one hand to the other. And underneath. Last one now. Up. And underneath we go. Good. Alright, we're going to switch the feet. Drop that rear knee down. And as we come up, we're going to go into our hip flexor stretch. Core engage. Width between the knee and the foot if you need it. Navel in. Reaching the arms up. As we go forward with the hips. Stretching right the way down the front of the thigh, the hip. You can feel the inner thigh as well. As we reach up with the arms, increase that stretch. Now we'll sit the hips back. We're going to lean over, away from that rear knee side. Both hands reaching out across. Over into the side of that lead leg. And pause for just a moment. Core engage. We're going to go back into that hip flexor stretch. Sinking the hips forwards. Stable through that lead foot. And then up with those arms. And hinging back. Core engage. That navel pulling in. Supporting the lower back. And good. position, so sit the hips back slightly as we then bring the arms across once again towards that lead leg. And if you then can go back forwards again, then go ahead and do so. Getting the side of the body and that hip flexor while staying connected through the core. And I'm going to switch to high kneeling position. And again, lead on that opposite side. Core engaged first as we drop the hips forwards. So that rear hip, in front of the rear hip, getting that stretch. Arms up. And imagine like a bow and arrow, a bow being drawn back. That string pulling the limbs of the bow back just as we arch through this position. Stretch those arms up. Increase that hip stretch and get the shoulders as well. Sitting the hips back slightly. If you need to reposition with the foot, that's okay. And side bend. Quite common to feel some clicks and some movements through the spine and the ribs as we get that extra movement. And reaching both arms across. Coming back to that midline, navel in, and hips dropping forwards, dropping in, down toward the floor. Arms up together, you can have them held together or side by side separate, whichever's best for you. As we drop the hips, really feeling that stretch. A really good one if you've been doing any lengthy work at a desk or driving. And keep the breathing going throughout, sitting the hips back slightly as we now take the arms across towards that lead leg side and stretching the arm across overhead and out the side. Still working and mobilising at the same time as position. Setting back now. Alright, we're going to go wide with the knees and the feet. Bring those elbows down to the floor. Initially the weight is on those elbows, but we're going to sit the weight back towards the heels. And that's going to get that stretch through the inner thigh. And from that bent knee position, it's going to feel different areas of the hip than when we do it from standing with one leg straight. And as always, just taking your time, going just as far as is comfortable. We keep those feet apart rather than crossing the ankles. It restricts the range of movement, and it can set up a position in the knee that's not very comfortable. So make sure you've got that comfortable mat underneath the knees for these types of positions. Well worth having a nice thick cushioned mat. And then sitting the body weight forward now onto the elbows, taking that pressure off. And back we go, second time. Walk the elbows back with it. And just moving back gently with those small increments, just testing the end range, testing that barrier, not trying to push or bulldoze past it, but just up to that point, and letting the body acclimate to that new position. Sending those elbows forwards. I'm going to go one more time. And here we go, maybe a little bit wide with the knees during that break, and maybe a little bit further back this time than the first two. Good. Try to let go of that tension through the body. Hands relax, don't grip. Make a fist with the hands, really relax. Alright, forward last time. Weight on the elbows to bring those knees forward. We're going to sit now with the feet out in front. This is going to be the glute and hip stretch. Straight legs, back nice and tall. Bring my left leg over my right knee and pull the heel up as high as I can. With the opposite arm, with my right arm, I'm going to hook around and then hug that knee to my chest. Sit tall, sit proud, and then lean across, away from that hip that we're stretching. And getting a good stretch into the glutes. Now the higher you can get the heel and the foot up towards the other side, the stronger you're going to feel that stretch into the glutes. And a specific muscle called the piriformis, which is often very tight, can give rise to sciatic type symptoms, tingling or running down the leg. So this movement, this stretch is a good one. And that added little movement of the heel, walking toe to heel up from the knee up towards the hip, can really help. And gently rocking at the end of that range. Release, and on the other side. So here you can see that I'm bringing that heel up as high as I can. Opposite arm, this time my left arm wrapping around my right knee, and then hugging as I lean back, proud posture, and I can walk that foot up towards the hip. And every now and then it might slide back. You can always reposition it. It's important to really get a good grip with the arms if you can, so then it's less muscle work for those arms. You can relax a bit more and lean into it. I'm going to go one more time on that first side. Again, this second visit, you'll find it's just a bit easier to get into position. Maybe there's more range, maybe not, but it's usually always easier to get into position a second time. Again, don't forget that breathing. Switching the feet last time on this side. Get the arm right the way around the knee and make the movement as easy for you as possible, as easy on you as possible. Again, the hips tie in to the low back. If you're feeling any lower back stiffness, discomfort, if you have in the past, hips might very well be a big part of the cause rather than the back. So we want strength in our glutes, our powerful muscles that propel us and hold us up, but we also want that suppleness and that range of movement. Okay. The last movement now. I'm going to come up onto my knees and bring my arms up overhead and elbows and hands out to the side as I pull them down. So I'm going to try and pinch my shoulder blades together, tall and long through the spine, but keeping that core engaged. I'm not arching my low back, reaching up and down. And you can really pull those shoulder blades around. You can feel the muscles as you draw those shoulders back. Reaching up. One more time. Tall and then back and down. Elbows and wrists in line. And one breath to finish. Shoulders rolling, low to high, from front to back, up and over. And alright, nice work. Finishing off feeling nice and loose and relaxed after that one. That breathing, nice deep breathing through that movement, through all of those movements, helping the body feel nice and relaxed and loose. I will see you again for another workout very soon.